if you've been watching some of these videos over Shuai Chiao fundamental stuff, the belt crackings, forms, the stuff about the apparatus, this is the continuation of the forms. So I filmed 1 through 8, and I gave the explanation of it. This will be 9 through 16. There's 24 total, and sometimes soon I'll make a video of the other 8. If you've watched the other videos, it's very helpful before you watch this one. Just purely based on it, I probably will have given more details on stances and things like that in some of the other ones. So with some of these, I'm going to do them 2 directions. The first one is it's cracking, okay? And I'm going to be in a somewhat low horse stance, and my hands are going to cross to the front like this, right? I'll be in this position. And the back hand is the hand that I'm going to pull it to my waist, and the other hand is going to turn over and go out. Now, if you look, it's literally going to be here, but a lot of people, when they're doing cracking, they'll push the hand way past their body. Remember, again, a lot of these movements, well, all of them, in essence, they're based on the connection with your feet, the force and the reaction force, the extension of the muscles in the legs, the lower and the upper core, and the shoulder, the whole of the body. But what the linchpin that ties all this together, of course, is the core, just like with any other athletic endeavor, right? Baseball, football, throwing the ball, hitting the ball with a tennis racket, etc. Punching with, like in boxing. It's all the same. There is the connection of the joints and the alignment of the joints to generate power, and then there is the contraction of the core in which to generate force, and one progresses after the other, right? So with this movement, again, I'm going to start here, and as I want to make sure I'm not leaning. I want to make sure I'm sitting into my butt, and I'm going to rotate. Now, some people will rotate this foot and then this foot, okay? You can do it that way, or you can rotate this foot to turn the hip, to turn this foot out. This foot, right? And remember what we talked about. I want this line, my ankle to my shoulder, and I don't want to bend my head. And then once I get here, I need to twist the core to finish the movement. And this is what I was talking about. A lot of people push the hand like this, and when you do, it's like this. It's not really connected to the core. The core it's not an illusion, but it looks like the hand is moving separately, but in reality, the hand is just opening like this with the arm. So from here, I'm going to dig deep into a squat. Don't try to do it up here, right? I mean, you can for practice, but it's not going to help you. So I dig deep, and then I'm going to turn, and I rotate me out. And I want to make sure I have that straight line, and then I'm going to twist the waist to finish the movement. And then I would squat as I come back, and then I would go to the other side, turning with this leg to turn this leg, and turn me. And again, I want that straight line. I'm like this, and then look, I twist the waist to complete it. Now, you can do this also too. Some people do it like this. They literally step back, so this foot's behind this. It will help with stability, right? So they end up turning like this. And then they would just step up and step back and do it again. Nothing wrong with that. I think I practice both ways. And there's a third way where I'm here in my course, and I'm going to literally, almost like the same action in the next one, which is pushing, right? You're going to drop your weight and send it out. But so he's here, and it's like you're going to drop and turn the body, and then you're going to pull everything back together, and then do it again to the other side, right? And see if you can maintain the stability of it. back, out, back, out. Doing it that way, it'll really get your heart rate going, stimulate the body. Again, I think all three versions have merit. One thing though, when I see some people do the forms, and I'm talking whether they're students of mine or I've watched some video or something, try not to turn and then do the arms, right? I mean, that's great for practice. Or like, say I'm doing like diagonal striking, and I fix myself and then I do the hands, right? You wouldn't do a throw like that, right? And you want to develop that stability through the range of motion, right? So, I want to be able to coordinate the thing together and complete it as one unit. But making it choppy, going like this and then doing this, that might be something that I would share with somebody that's new to try to break it down so that potentially they can get the big mechanical moves first. But I wouldn't keep doing it like that. In the long run, I think it would hinder your stability and your ability to generate power through the momentum part. And especially, I think it would affect your ability to generate force from the core. The next move is pushing. Of course, you can't see what I'm looking at, but pushing, I see a lot of different people do this. Most people is going to start from like a shoulder width stance, hands are here, and I've seen people where they jump backwards and push the hands out. I've seen where people will do like this, but they really didn't, you see what I'm saying? Like, they're like this and they did this, but they really didn't do anything to sink the body, so they're not really doing anything to generate force down and reaction force back out through the hands. If you think about a low line, right? Somebody's attacking the legs, that's really when I would want to explode backwards and push force down into them, so I drive them onto the ground. Usually, when you're utilizing this pushing action, they're attached to your upper torso, or they're trying to get you in here, or they've already got a bear hug on you to the front. So I really want to drive down and push out at the same time. I don't want to let go of any of my energy by making it project backwards. I really want to push down, and then pushing down, I'm pushing force down, and it would be much easier for me to potentially to drive forward into the next action. My personal opinion. So I'm doing it from the side. I'm in my horse, hands are here on my hips, and I'm going to try to drop into a twice as wide, right, like into a low horse. And when I do it, think about like you're gonna fall back and sit on a chair this way, right? And make sure that the hands roll out. They turn over, and then when I pull back, I'm going to bring the legs back under me, but I'm not going to straighten them out all the way. So I'm going to be here, legs are still bent, I still have the load in my quadriceps. Okay, out and back. Okay, try not to do it this way, like this, and then completely stand out, right? You take that load out of the legs. To me, it's working this explosive power, and I'm loading the quads, and somewhat loading the hamstrings and the calf muscles. So I really want to maintain that. I also want to build some endurance in the legs for that explosive power. So again, I'm here, and just think, he drops out, they turn, and as I bring them back, I'm not going to straighten them out all the way. Like that, see what I mean? Keep them here, and then it's explode back, and back again. Because if you think about it, if you were doing striking, or even if you're wrestling, you're not going to have your legs straight anyway, right? To me, it's keep those legs loaded. The next one is pulling. And pulling is kind of, in my opinion, pulling is the mate of cracking. Right, one is opening up and going this way. Right, it's it's kind of to the outside of the person. The other one is going inside, right? So with this one, the exercise itself, my hand's going to come up and like it's forming a fist, so it's representing the grab, right? And I'm going to take this foot and put it over here. So I'm going to go around this foot. And as I do, this hand comes up. Now, you can just put up in a cat if you want, and then drive this foot back, pull this back, rotate into a marching stance, and be sure that you have this straight line. You're driving the heel or the foot down, and you're pulling up with the crown of the head. Okay, and the hand's in the same thing, right? It's here. I'm not pushing it past my body, so I'll maintain that connection to my core. So again, I'm here, and it's as if it's pulling it down with the guy's arm, right, or grabbing it. And as I turn, I bring this hand up. Now, you can pull up to kick back. I prefer to do it this way. I like working my balance. And as I kick back, I pull, right? The hand is here to the side. If I turn me back, it's really just on the outside edge of my torso, right? And I want to be sure that it's up high enough. Really, right now, I should have this up here. Not down here, but up a little higher. So it's harder for the guy to come around my hand, and I can be sure that I'm tripping him over me. And then I twist my torso right here in this position. So if I did them as groups from side to side, 1, 2, pull up, and twist, right? And again, I want to make sure I'm not breaking that line. I'm going to lift the head up, twist the torso, and then if I do it from this one, I twist, I lift, and again, as this is going back, I'm taking lift this up, and I'm going to strike down with the foot, right? And then right when it goes to hit the ground, that's when I twist. In the beginning, going in a straight line is great. You can do it like that. Me personally, I think that's the best way to train it, so that you kind of get your stability down. But later, I can kick it at a 45 like this. Okay, body's in a nice straight line. Fix my hip. Okay, but again, you can do it straight back, or cut back to a 45. And I would practice both, depending on the throw itself, or what you're trying to apply with it. The next one is embracing. This one here, I see a lot of people that the end portion is not coordinated. Okay, so say I start from here, kind of in this standardized position to start your forms, and as I step, right, I'm in my horse, I drive up, kind of in a T or a cat, and then look, as this happens, this comes over, and look, this is the part I'm talking about. You want this to coordinate and finish at the same time. That shifting and driving the weight down into that rear stance is to keep you from having to support the weight. Now, granted, you may pick the guy up and just throw it down. But if for some reason why you need to stay with him, there's a follow-on action, or you're trying to keep him from getting hurt too much, you don't want to hurt your own back. So you wouldn't want to be here trying to hold this weight and then put this in your back. You want to guide it down, right? So from here, up, and then guide it down. Horse, the cat, and look, I don't throw the hands way up here. I don't know, I guess if you're like really strong, or the person is like, I don't know, you weigh 180 and they weigh 110 or something, you want to do this to them, okay, cool. But in reality, that'd be hard to do, is what I'm getting at. So in my mind, I have this person's torso or their body here, and so I want to maintain that connection to my core, not just to my shoulder girdle or my deltoids, and I'm trying to hold this massive weight up here. Now you say to yourself, well, I drove the weight up. Well, okay, think about it. Did you pick him up really this high? This would be demanding enough, right? To pick the body, the person up this high, and then to drop them down. So again, in most situations, I'm going to try to keep my elbows, coming down here with my shoulders, so that I can still utilize my torso muscles the best of my ability. The higher up I get it, the less of a connection I've got, and now the core muscles have to start to try to stabilize the upper body to keep the weight and keep my body from falling over. And also the other muscles, like the psoas muscles, are trying to support the spine. The other problem is that, say a lot of people get up here and then they bend the back. You see what I'm saying? Like they bend the back, and then wherever I've created a bend in the spine, that's a weak point, and then all of the force that I'm generating to push back is going to go into that spot. That's how a lot of people end up with that back, bad necks, bad knees, etc. So again, here I drive up and I shift the weight down. Okay. The next one is upper body control, leg locking. So if you looked at lower body control and upper body, they're relatively the same thing. Personally, I'm looking at the 2 dozen, there would be other pieces, and to be honest with you, I feel that there's probably many more forms that maybe this group does and that group does and things like that. But from what I gather, Master Chong collected these components from different people that he interacted with. He got this from this person, he got that from that person, and I think that's great. I mean, that the man went above and beyond to try to search out and find the training material that he felt that it was needed, not just for himself, but for others. So this one is somewhat like the other. So if you think this is like, we'll say like kind of like cover hands, right? And then as he steps, he's going to mix around him. He kicks the leg back and he rotates the body. So my index finger is in my sternum, more to the top side. And I'm going to push it up or anything like that. But again, this is going to be here. I've got this alignment. I've twisted my waist, right? And if I step through again, I turn, I want that alignment. And then look, I have to bend me as I step. Look, I'm straight up. As I kick back, I end up in that nice straight line again. The body's in a straight line. The body's in a straight line. The body's in a straight line. Lift, kick back, twist. The body's in a straight line. Okay. The next one is leg lifting. And leg lifting is a great move to practice. And as we do it, I see this with a lot of people. Like, so in the cowbell, there are 2 movements where the leg is extended, one with the hands are in the front, one with the hands are in the back. And when we do throws, right, there's leg locking or leg lifting. There's actually, in my opinion, there's 5 different variants for most of those core body throws. The execution of the leg, how to do it. Tripping, popping, blocking, lifting, etc. Most people, when they lean forward, they will cast the weight into the head. And so it makes it really hard for them to maintain their balance. Okay? Or they won't ever lift as high with the leg as they can because they can't seem to find the stability point. The stability point is in the waist and the hip. And you want to feel like when you're doing any leg lifting move that this is like a hinge, right? And I'm closing it. And it's a very small move. If you make it big and you make it about the head and the foot as you lean forward, and then you're trying to stabilize these, it can be very difficult, or you'll feel like you're falling forward. Now, incorporate a human onto you that you're going to try to throw, as well as trying to maintain your stability when it's not, maybe you're lacking the stability. It's going to be very hard to lift the person, okay? So I'll talk about that more as we do it, but just like cover hands, extend the hands, I turn, basically the same thing, but now this hand is going to slap my shin. This is also an exercise. You come through, and I'm going to slap the leg, right? And to me, I'm going to look at my foot or my shin, okay? Also, too, a lot of times, see like my hip is sideways right now? If I just contract and bend this hinge a little more, I will pull the hip down and over. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm shooting for, and that's what everybody should be shooting for. And then look, I can lean more forward. I'm working this hinge here. And then look, I can straighten out this leg more. And see, I can get so much more lift out of it. But like I said, try it for yourself if you're already doing Shuai Chiao. But when you do these actions, right, I'm here, if you, think about what I'm saying, if you throw the weight into your head like this, like a big counterbalance, it's very hard. You have to try to do what you can to recover. But if you think about your upper and lower core and pulling this together, in other words, like I almost want to put this here, right? This to here. If I focus on that, if not, I make this big hole, right? This big hole here, and the weight is kind of gone out here, and then my body's having to try to recover this action. But if I do it this way, and I'm thinking I'm going to put this to here, it's so much easier to maintain my stability. And it's being able to do it for more than just like a second, like, can I maintain it? And look, I'll close me up, I'll send it out, work this part of your body, and it'll make it. You will end up being able to generate so much more force with the throw, right? If I do it like this, I'm relying purely on momentum, right? My mass and my speed went forward. I knocked into this guy, and I'm trying to lift him over. Okay, that's, again, momentum, and that's power. But if I can couple that with I get to here, and as I kick this leg out, I contract and I pull this in and I squeeze it. I'm going to get that force part from the core, and I'll be able to amplify the throw itself, and also I can maintain my stability, which means that I'm going to be able to throw him, or articulate the throw even better. So that 1, 2, right, and then lift. And you can put the hand here. Later, the same exercise, you can push the hand this side and flip yourself over and land. Okay. Then we have 2 more pieces, leg seizing and interleg movement. So leg seizing, to me, leg seizing works great with other things. Interleg blocking, interleg lifting, things like that. Onto itself, if you seize the guy's leg, you should have pushed him back, and then you're trying to lift the leg up and over. It's doable. Somebody